Talking about those beginnings, how were those first steps? What do you remember about those first steps?
I remember starting and just looking at the ceiling for a really long time, wondering when are the patients going to come in? When is some of the marketing that I've done going to bear its fruits? Why are there people that are coming in and not staying and leaving and not finishing their treatment plans? What do I have to do to be able to retain a lot of these people? I remember for most of those 2 years, the main predominant feeling that I developed was humility. Humility in the fact that I did not have all the answers, that I could definitely be a lot better than what I was being. And I had the profound realization that the way that you manage the business profoundly impacts the experience and the overall well-being of each individual patient. So a lot of times for people it can be uncomfortable talking about business, talking about wealth, talking about success related to a clinical service, but in reality those aspects of practice are extremely important, are essential in assuring that the patient is going to receive the highest level of care.
You talk about success, but obviously failure is a big part of your success. Talk about how much this failure actually helped me out to become successful.
Absolutely, great question. I'm a strong believer that failure a lot of times is a big part of being successful. It's a big stepping stone to be able to have success. I remember months in the beginning of my practice where we were struggling just to pay off our operational costs, to pay off rent, to pay off insurance, to pay off electricity. And it was definitely a very frustrating sensation after so many years of studying, so many student loans, all these things adding up, and on top of that, not being able to have the success that I felt was going to be a big part of being a clinical practitioner. So when I faced myself and started realizing that I was not being successful, that I was failing, a big transformation started to occur inside of me. Part of that transformation was humility. My mind suddenly didn't hold all the answers, and perhaps there were people out there that I could reach out to, that had information, that had products, that had companies that could help me overcome a lot of the daily grind that I was going through. Additionally, it showed me the importance of thinking, of using my brain in creative ways, in new ways, previous to the ones that I was accustomed to. So failure is amazing because it really took me out of my comfort zone and put me in a position where I didn't have to necessarily work harder, but now I started to learn how to work smarter. And that's something very important for anyone that wants to really elevate their level of success.
You talk about failure and you talk how you turn failure into success, but there's some strategies that obviously you had to go to because you didn't have any other choices. What were those strategies?
Well, Alan, some of the things that I did right off the bat, I started searching for different management companies, different webinars, different seminars, different professionals and experts that had already produced very, very successful practices, some of them even multi-million-dollar practices. And I started learning from them. I started paying and investing in developing myself as a business professional, additional to a clinical professional. This was all spectacular because almost immediately I started seeing great results in my practice. I started seeing growth, I started seeing retention, I started seeing a lot of referral, a lot of mouth to mouth, and immediately my practice became more stable, better recognized. My patients started to refer more and more to their family and friends. The problem that came with this newfound success is that most of these management companies, most of these experts were charging extremely high premiums. So at some point I paid $2,000 a month to a management company just to get tidbits of information that could help me overcome a lot of the obstacles that I was facing. So after thousands and thousands and thousands of invested hours of information, after dedicating myself to learning for a really long time, I decided that it wasn't the best way, that there had to be a more centralized point of information, something that contained all of the information together in a very structured and organized way. And this is where the idea for the Chiropractic Entrepreneur was born, to be able to provide essential principles, tools, and procedures for every single doctor of chiropractic to be highly successful.